Is that one way that you help yourself find your way through all the change, uncertainty, and overwhelm that life seems to be ever more these days?
Well, I had to kind of develop a new strategy in about October of this year, watching how the election was progressing and realizing that the numbers were never going to change no matter what. Like, nothing that happened could change the numbers for the election at all. Crimes, great speeches, like nothing changed anything. Policies, nothing changed anything. And just realizing that there was not much that could be done, and yet I was spending a ton of time worrying and being stressed about this. And so I actually kind of came up with a new plan for myself in October. And one of the things was sparked by my husband, who said, I wrote down my notes on this one because I wanted to get this right. He said, reading about this and watching videos about this and worrying about this is not actually changing anything. But it is making you sad and depressed and stressed out. And knowing these things are happening is not actually changing anything in your life right now, which is true. So I decided to kind of box in the amount of time I spent looking at politics. I did a very extreme version of this in that I decided to stop looking altogether. And he was kind enough to agree to send me a weekly roll-up of any articles, videos, or stories he thought I would actually be interested in, because it relates to something I teach or something I do or something that's important to me. And so I go through once a week and read his links. I just go directly to the stories, I read those stories, and that's it. I think individuals can also time box this and say, okay, I'm only going to look. I would only look if you find that it's getting you down. I would only look on a morning when you have a really busy day. Because what happens on a really busy day is it pushes out the busyness of the day, pushes out the worry about what's going on, right? Now, I pair this with two other activities. So as to say, I'm not just ignoring the news. I am purposely ignoring the things that keep me from being my best self in the world. And so the second thing I am doing is funding all of the groups that are actually fighting the things I want fought, the battles I want fought. I am not a lawyer, and so I cannot directly have an impact on most of the things that are happening and about to happen, but I can fund the lawyers. So specifically looking for organizations that fund lobbying, legal battles, etc., and I am funding those things, right? So that is how I can directly impact what's going on. It might be volunteering for those folks, but right now I have no time. So for me, it's funding those. And then the third thing is to look at the community around you and to say, who in this community of people around me is going to need the most help in the next 4 years? Who is going to be hurt the most? Who is going to be feeling the most direct impact every day from the things that are happening? Who can I help around me? Are there immigrants around me that I can help feel more comfortable in this country? Are there LGBTQ friends who I can help by being more supportive of, by inviting to more activities, by sending a text several times a week to see how they're doing? Are there BIPOC friends of mine that I can support better? Right? Are there low-income people around me who need more help with watching kids, meals occasionally, because maybe some of where we've landed is because people don't feel enough support from their communities. Are there teachers around me that could use help and support because they are so poorly paid, so poorly paid? I regularly watch my colleagues have flat tires, breakdowns on, a lot of them are driving an hour to get to a school because they can't afford to live in the community where they teach, right? Like, there are so many people around you can help in your own community, right? So the deal I made with myself was I'm going to stop watching all of the news and reading all of the news because there's nothing I can do about most of it. Fund the people who are actually doing something about it, and I can support more people in my community around me who I know are directly affected by the things that are going to happen. And that allows me to then spend my life energy doing the things that I can do, right? Like having the actual positive energy and the full energy to be supportive, to put all my time and effort at trying to solve problems I can solve, right? And unfortunately, I think so many of us have gotten sucked into this media cycle around the anger and the outrage. And the more sucked into that you are, the less of your attention is going to the things that might actually make a difference to people around you. So you have to give it a little thought to how you want to spend your life energy, and whether you really want to spend another decade of your life being outraged and worried. I just decided back in October I can't do it anymore. I can't spend another decade of my life outraged and worried. I need to go back to being a person who could be more creative and positive force for change in the world, right? And that's a lot of that is how we demonstrate it. It's how we demonstrate it to the people around us.
So we can all do both in our personal life and at work what you've just been explaining what you're doing to bring our best selves into everything that we do. We can recognize what it is that's holding us back from doing that. We can identify what about that we can't change and take action to not focus on that stuff. For you, you're not watching that part of the news, and your husband's sending you updates so that you don't worry about missing things that you might really want to know about. Then you are giving your happy, joyful, make the world the place you want it to be energy to people who can take action in ways that you want to happen and that you know you can't be yourself. And then you're finding all sorts of creative ways to take action that you do have ability to, of funding all sorts of groups who are going in directions that you want, helping people in your community around the world who are, you can help make the world more the way you want it to be for them. These are all things that we can do in the workplace too.
And it was really interesting because it was about 3 or 4 weeks after I made that change that I actually came up with the idea for this new company I started. And it's a spectacularly good idea for solving the teacher burnout problem. And I don't know that I would have had it if I hadn't made the space in my head to actually be able to think about other things, right? I think we all may be handicapping ourselves from our truly great ideas with this kind of tension and outrage cycle that we've all been stuck in for so long. And I don't want to discount that there are very real things that are going to be happening in the world that are not great. And there will be people who have to pay attention to what's going on because they may be directly affected by it. I mean, I am a woman who is most likely going to lose some of my rights because women are part of the target of this new administration, right? But I just can't do anything about that fact other than funding people who will immediately fight it. And so, like, I have this phrase I use to my friends, fund the lawyers, right? Just keep funding the lawyers. They are the ones who are going to they are the ones who have to pay attention, who have to immediately react and have to immediately, start legal action. And so they're the ones who need the funding, right? Me being angry at a congressman in my living room is not going to help anything. So I have to come up with positive ideas for change. And that me actually, maybe it's just that us being able to be positive forces for good is the best way to fight this. And to be a good example to everybody around us, the kids that are in our sphere of influence, whether that's your own children, your children's friends, like even if you're not a teacher, there are people in your sphere of influence that need to see a positive force for good, to be able to have the energy to be a force of nature in this world, right? I can't have that kind of energy if I'm constantly angry and worried and upset. So I think we all have to find our own path to what gets us there.